What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Keepin It Comic, and today we're diving back into the Amazing X-Men with issue number 2. Now, if you remember from the last issue, our team accidentally got teleported to Providence, Rhode Island instead of Pennsylvania, and so they're in Magik territory. And Scott's like, Magik? Illyana? What happened to you? And she's looking devilish, and she says, you said it, Slim. Hell happened to me. And Amalia's like, Psylocke, what is a captain of the Seraphim doing in Providence? And she responds, what are the X-Men doing in Providence? Beast adjusts his stunner shades and is like, it's not Illyana. It's the Darkchild we're speaking to, isn't it? And she says, no wonder they call you the smart one, Beast. The X-Men are like, Illyana brought it on the raid to free Cortez 9 years ago. The Darkchild is what crawled back to the land of the living. And Juggernaut's pissed. He's like, she's not dead, Glob. Don't say that. And for the record, I hate and despise this new design of his. But anyway, Glob's like, get him in, Amalia. Rock and roll. And she turns into an elephant. But you know our boy's not hearing that. Juggernaut punches her right in the face and sends her flying. Hopefully Peter doesn't get involved in this. And he's like, she's not dead. She's not. And Glob's just continuing to unload right now. He's like, she is. I'll send you to meet her. And at this time, Amalia is turned into a tiger and is charging. And Beast is still having a conversation, and he's like, Juggernaut seems unwell. In which Darkchild responds, he's my demon knight. It goes with the territory. And Scott is like, I've had enough. He's like, Sword Shield, calm them down, please. And he responds, okay, sure. Turning the gravity down. And then you see all 3 of these fools on the ground. Beast is still fishing for answers, though. He's like, please, explain this place. We're not from around here. And Darkchild says, you're looking at a company town, Beast. A branch plant of Limbo Inc. And everyone here works for the CEO, me. And he says, branch plant? What do you manufacture? And she says, misery. My employees don't make anything but, they work. They work and work and work. And there is never quite enough time to do all the work they have to do. Not if they wish to keep their contract. But the real product is harvested suffering, a precious resource to Limbo. Glob is like, she's going to make us stay here. She won't let us go. And Darkchild corrects him. Stay? I wouldn't think of it, Witchbreed. I keep no one imprisoned. Free will is so important. Observe, your contract is dissolved. You are no longer under my dark dominion. And this guy's freaking out. He's like, what? No, please, no. I'll work harder. Don't make me leave. And Darkchild says, you see, Beast, this is the only place in the Revelation territories the X-Virus has no claim upon. The only place where flatskins can survive. And my people prefer the devil they know. And at this point, Scott's had enough. He's like, look, we need to get to Philadelphia. Can you help? And Darkchild's like, oh no, you want me to do you a favor. And why would I act against Revelation like that? And Beast interjects, because you know that your presence, your little fiefdom here, drives him insane. How long until he manages to remove you, Darkchild? And Scott's like, unless we remove him first. Darkchild says, I'll tell you what, we'll duel for it. If you win, I'll step you wherever you wish. And when I win, you must pick one of your number to stay with me. And tell me that is not the typical Scott thing, because we know if he loses, he's just going to offer himself. So he's like, a duel then. Swords, I suppose? And she says, swords were Illyana's favorite. I prefer something that cuts deeper. Truth. Shall I start, Cyclops? He says, by all means. And this is where things get crazy. Darkchild's like, an appetizer. A truth. These X-Men think you're a joke. And Cyclops gets sent flying. He's like, what? She says, the odor of suffering. Like a steak sizzling on a hot iron grill. Truths have weight in this game, Cyclops. He's like, fine, a truth. I'm going to change their mind. You can see it does the smallest hit to her. She's not impressed at all. She's like, did you expect that truth to hurt? I don't think you understand how this game works. Like so. Your failure of leadership allowed Revelation to take power. The blood of millions is on your hands. And Scott felt that one. I mean, our boy is doing the same pose that Rose was doing at the front of the Titanic. But that's a different story. But anyway, Scott's now coughing up blood. And Darkchild's like, do you understand now? This is a game of truce that hurts. So hurt me, Cyclops, if you can. By the way, she might want to get checked. She just took this man's blood and started drinking it. But Scott gets back up and he goes, a truth. That was this body's failure, not mine. One I am here to put it to rights. And you can see it barely did anything again. She's like, this is not a trial. I am not interested in your defense. Hurt me like I am hurting you. A truth. You abandoned your wife and child without a second thought. And she sends this man flying. I mean, she's not really wrong either. And Scott knows this too. As he's panting on the ground, he's like, a truth. I did. And nothing I can do will make that right. And again, a small little hit for her. She says, I see that I'm not getting through to you. A truth. There was never any intention that you would succeed here. And all the X-Men looked shocked. Schwarzschild's like, she knows. She knows. Glob's like, shut up, Schwarzschild. She can't know. Beast is like, she knows. And Amalia is like, you know? Beast is like, I am the smart one after all. The question is, does he? Darkchild continues, you're being humored. The true purpose of their plan was for this time Cyclops to go back. And Cyclops barely hurt. And even Darkchild says, you're barely affected. And Scott responds, because that truth can't hurt me. I figured it out immediately. It's what I would have done if I didn't think I could win here. Both Hank and my future selves went to the past to try to stop the Age of Revelations before it started. Told their X-Men to lie to us. I'm only here as the fallout of that plan. But it doesn't matter. My future self may have given up on this world, but I have not. Not while I'm alive. Not while I've got X-Men. A truth. The Darkchild exists to protect Illyana. Darkchild says no. Scott responds, if Illyana is dead, then you have failed at your only thing that ever mattered to you. And he sends her flying. And that's the only truth that really mattered, because she's like, please, no more. And Scott says, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt anyone. But what I want really matters. A deal's a deal, Darkchild. My X-Men and I need to get to Philadelphia if we're going to put things to rights. And then we're going to deal with what you're doing to these people. She says, why? Why hold back for so long? And he explains, I had to show what I was made of, to be taken seriously. She says, by me? And he says, no, by them. I could do anything, as long as I have the X-Men with me. I don't care that you kidnapped me, lied to me. You're the X-Men. If you're with me, we can make things right, no matter what's in our way. And B says, I had almost forgotten how good he was at this. And you can see all the X-Men's facial expressions changed. Okay, we're with you, Cyclops. Let's do it. Sure, I'm always down for a new and exciting way to get killed. And then Scott says, and you, Psylocke? And Glob's like, hang on a second. She's not an X-Men. She's a Seraph captain. And Psylocke shoots back and says a murderer. Do you think I don't know that it was you who killed Topaz, Glob? Scott extends his hand and says, if Psylocke was one of Revelations, she wouldn't be here. And she's wearing an X. So she's an X-Men as far as I'm concerned. And after some thought, she extends her hand back and says, I suppose I'm an X-Men again. But there's something you need to hear. I learned something that Revelation would, and has, killed to keep secret. I know what he's really planning. It's the end of the world. And that right there is why we love Cyclops, man. You can clown his visor all day, but when it comes time to lead, nobody does it better. Scott took every hit, every truth, and stood tall. That's leadership. That's heart. That's what makes him the best X-Men there is. But here's where things get a little wild. While Scott's down in Rhode Island, pushing his team through hell and believing Jean is dead, up in Massachusetts, she's not only alive, she is the phoenix itself, the actual firebird. And if that wasn't enough, his ex, Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen, the mother of his child, just showed up to throw hands with Jean and Binary. So now the question is, what happens when Cyclops finds out the love of his life is back from the dead and standing across from the woman who literally carries his demons? You know, that's gonna break him or make him greater than ever. Let me know down in the comments, how do you think Scott reacts when he finally sees Jean again? Because after this issue, one thing's clear. Cyclops doesn't just survive the truth, he owns it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you've been rocking with these breakdowns, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and check out keepinitcomic.com. That's where you can grab our latest merch and join our new Kick memberships. Both tiers come with exclusive perks and discounts. And our Kick Elite membership even gets authenticated signed merch, so don't miss out. And don't forget to hype this video by using YouTube's new hype feature. It helps push our content to new fans just like you. And as always, thanks for kicking it with Keepin' It Comic. I'll catch y'all on the next one.